So now we are learning a new module, the new released version module of the S4HANA's Finance Cloud. So this is a latest edition which was brought by SAP. Okay, this is a public edition. We call everyone, we call this as a public edition implementation also, we generally call. So this is a more of cutting edge enterprise resource planning solution. So earlier, whoever has already worked on ECC finance or simple finance or finance one, different solutions which SAP brought on table. So this is a different and next generation type of solution that SAP brought to the customers and to the markets, whatever, we are trying to hit into the ground. So this is a complete finance solution which offers any business that who's getting into this S4HANA Finance Cloud, any business, it gives the agility, the scalability and innovation that they want to thrive in the today's digital era. So the comprehensive platform, if you want to get one such comprehensive platform on S4HANA level, so this is one such platform which SAP brought to the customers by going with a lot of analysis and a lot of hits and calls on that, and they release this version on top of that. Okay, so this module specifically plays an important role in managing the financial processes, ensuring regulatory compliances also, and it will provide all real-time insights, whatever that are needed for the decision making for the enterprise and executive management level. So we will, in this program, generally, when we go, what are the topics that I have told now? So we can actually explore many aspects of implementing the finance in S4HANA Cloud Public Edition, right? From understanding the need to know approach to all the best practices and challenges, we can actually go through in this program. Okay. So essentially, this is one of the successful finance implementations when you go over this S4HANA Finance Cloud, that all implementations can be a successful financial implementations for the S4HANA Public Cloud platform. Okay. So S4HANA Cloud Public Edition is a complete cloud-based ERP solution, which you won't go here and there with ECC. You don't need to go back to SAP logon pads. You don't need to go back to some other servers or something like that. So it's complete cloud-based, simple URL. You go there and do all the work on the cloud itself only. Okay, so you put data, you get data, everything from the cloud. Okay, so in this way, it is offering a range of different modules designed to streamline our business processes. Okay, this will be our agenda, but primarily I will not like put all my things into it. I'll just show the cloud environment also. I'll make everyone to like experience the cloud environment today. So that is what. So I generally teach more practical rather than on the PPTs, but I'll show PPTs parallelly also, because the more practical insights will get into the like deep subject for everyone, so that you can also like understand things better, instead of going with regular PPT kind of stuff there. So this is the general agenda for for the general introduction for everyone who generally goes into it. But yes, I'm just giving you right now the overview of SAP S4 HANA Finance Cloud Public Edition. So as I said earlier, the finance module with S4HANA Cloud, it provides comprehensive functionality for all the financial management. When I say financial management, it comes reporting, it adds planning, it will adds budgeting, it will adds analysis also. So by what will be the major use, when we go with SAP S4HANA Finance Cloud Public Edition? So the major key features or usages for this is, the major important thing is the financial accounting. So one can efficiently manage the general ledger, accounts payable, accounts receivable, asset accounting, or banking or treasury. So all these individual features can be covered in one single umbrella of this financial accounting of S4HANA Public Cloud. Okay. And not only that, by using this particular public cloud edition thing, so people or customers can enable better decision making. Decision making means an executive management should understand, hey, where I can invest, where my business is getting lost, where I'm not getting the positive revenues, where I'm going under negative revenues, where I can actually invest more into the market. So they have to identify the area. So that is all can happen when you have a complete end-to-end planning and analysis happening in your what we call the organization structure, right? So that can be understand only when you go with a proper financial planning and analysis, right? So that will be enabled by this S4 HANA Finance Cloud. So you can do financial planning, budgeting again, top to down to top, as we do in BPC, right? Okay. And the same way, the forecasting capabilities. So you can understand your current and you can also estimate the future, and based on that, you can make decisions on. That's what this financial planning and analysis will do. Okay. And coming to the next important feature by using overview, in this overview feature I want to cover is the compliance and risk management. In earlier ECC or that little matured versions also after that, where they are not covering this complete risk and compliance, wherein which S4HANA Public Cloud have complete adherence for all the regulatory requirements, all the compliance and risk management has been completely covered in that, so that because majorly for finance, our customers will be banking, treasury, and other associated people will be there. So for them, the regulatory compliance and risk is very important. So we have to ensure that. So that is completely ensured, and there are very minimal financial risks that are involved in it, which can be easily like negotiated with the development process. Okay, this is one such important feature. And one more very important feature is real-time reporting. Every customer looks into it, right? So because we need the gaining of our real-time insights into the financial performances, profitabilities, and cash flows. That only happen when you talk. Your current system should talk to the real-time data analytics and data systems flawlessly and get the data and has to immediately put it to you, right? Like our ATM machines, the moment you put some a card and ask certain minimum statements, so it will immediately give it to you, right? The moment you do some transactions also. So that type of real-time reporting is important every time you do on the on-demand reporting is important on this particular generation. So that is added with more features and more enhanceability, so that the public cloud edition can better fit to the customers of all ranges is what the final thing is, right? So these are the very important key features which the S4 HANA Finance Cloud Public Edition is going on. So I have already covered those features here. So these are a few other things which are coming as part of what I discussed with you now. Okay, so there is a need to know approach. For example, in any finance implementation, when you go with, there is a need to know approach, which is a what I can say, it's a concept we have to know, because SAP has given certain things to guide the organizations, which we call the best practices. So that best practices will guide the organizations through all the um, journey of the any implementation. So basically, the emphasizing the needs for your detailed knowledge or whatever the implementation processes that we want to ensure the customer that going to leverage this S4 Finance Cloud, they have to success it. So that success will come as part of the um, this need to know approaches in finance implementations. Okay, so this need to know approach is very simple. Like you have to it's a like an activate methodology, like just come with you on that. But yes, in this need to know approach, everyone has to understand few things here. Okay, like we have to assess the organizational readiness, you have to define the implementation goals, you have to assemble your implementation team, and you have to conduct gap analysis. These are the very important four things which you have to do, okay, whenever you do any need to know approach. Because in this, you will evaluate your organization's readiness, whether they are ready to implement the finance cloud or not. If they are not, when they can also implement also, you can know that, because that is where you evaluate your organization readiness. Okay, so this includes, what I mean to say organizational readiness means, you have to understand the factors, like what is the stakeholder engagement that we have, how many resources are available, what is the project timeline that we can make it out, what is the budget for that, what is the short-term goals, long-term goals on it. So these are all you have to evaluate when you're assessing your organizational readiness, right? So this is one important factor. So once you are ready with that, you can start defining your implementation goals and objects as part of the need to know approach. So in this, we will define all our goals and objectives of the finance implementation projects that we do on this public cloud. So then we will include all our process, enhancing the reporting capabilities and all the regulatory compliance on top of that. Okay. So we will be discussing all these things practically one by one. I'm just giving a introduction. So please think this is only introduction. So please listen, so you can understand more when I'm started, showing the things on the practical part. And then the other important part is assembling the implementation team. Once you define your goals and objectives, then we will assemble our implementation team, right? So right from taking the expertise in the finance, technology, project management, we will assess the individuals and we'll form the teams for that. And then we'll go with an like a regular development kind of strategy on part of it. So in between, any gaps are there, as per the regular process, we do gap analysis and then we will initiate that, right? So these are the important features and these are the need to know approaches that are there as part of the S4HANA cloud. Okay. Till now, any questions before I go to the next one, which is the key steps in financial implementation? When we implement S4 HANA Finance Cloud, we will be with more on the cloud mindset only, right? So this is what we have to adopt the cloud centric mindset. So though we are adopting cloud centric mindset on this, that means all our features on the cloud, as I said earlier. Okay. So while doing that, this particular implementation, we have certain phases are there. Like we call SAP Activate methodology. You say, but yes, though we are following the SAP Activate methodology on that, we have certain phases are there, where in which we will use those phases, and then we will constructively, like use this particular roadmap in any finance implementation. Okay, so let me show you that one. So this is one such methodology phases. Generally we use the Activate methodology phases, like right from prepare to explore, to realize, to deploy, and then we'll run it, right? So before prepare, we'll discover also, right? So same things are there everywhere in the S4 HANA Finance, but with a little more, I can say little more addition is there. Addition means it's not like, we will be tweaking that, okay? So here in the discover phase, in the preparation phase, we will be generally going with the project planning and scoping, okay? In any S4 HANA Cloud Finance, especially finance thing, it's like a structured approach we have. Okay. In the project planning, we will be defining the scope, the timelines, deliverables, like every time we do. And here we will identify the key stakeholders and we will start establishing the communication channels also at this phase. Okay. And at this level only, we will set up the project governance structure, because we have to ensure the effective decision making. So who will be the decision makers and who will provide the data for the decisions, and who was the operational team who can help on that, all that things we will do at this level, which is the project planning and scoping level. Okay, these phases. And then once we are done in the preparation phase, especially we have in finance, especially we have the system configuration and customization phase will be there, because any system we will do directly, you'll go and do certain things on that, but finance is not like that. You have to do certain configuration. What is that configuration? You have to give your organization's finance structure. You have to take the requirements and you have to configure that requirement. Like let's say the company code, when from where we start, the chart of account, right? Different companies. Okay, we have to take them and we have to start aligning them. So under that only you will do all your sales organization. We will assign something on division. What is the distribution channels, for example, are there? So like this, we will configure the cloud system and we have to align any customer's finance requirements, because this is one such process. Again, we will configure and customize all the master data requirements, reporting structures, financial process, anything that they require. We will start doing that in this preparation phase. Okay. Once we are done with that, we will start implementing all that specific functionalities, including all our revenue recognitions or cash management. We have to take care of that. Okay. So at this level, once we are done with that, we will explore the further things on it. So what actually can do on the particular customizations, we will take care of that, and then we will do it. And then once we are explored and we are done with this, we'll go with the realization phase, the original development phase. So at this phase, we will be taking care of the data migration and integration, especially for finance I'm speaking about. Okay. So data migration is very important process because we have to migrate all the financial data from different legacy systems to S4HANA Cloud, right? So sometimes it might be SAP to S4HANA because if it is a older client, but if it is not the case, we will go with the legacy systems or different third-party systems to the SAP S4HANA Cloud. For this, we will be using the data migration tools and templates which are given as a standard SAP best practice. So those tools you have to use. Okay. There are some open tools also there, but they have certain risk of the data leaking is there. So hence SAP has brought certain data migration tools and templates on part of it. We will discuss that when we look into it, when we are doing that. And we will ensure certain very important things called while doing the at realization phase, data accuracy, the consistency, integrity during the migration process, all these things we will take care. Okay. Once we are done with all that integrity and all these things, we will integrate this finance to the different modules wherever is required. For example, SD, PP, MM, we have the standard integrations, right? So that also, if needed, we will do it as part of the realization phase, and we will start testing that before deploying. We'll go with testing. In the activate methodology, there is no testing bracket separately kept here. So in the realization only it will cover, or sometimes it will go in the deployment phase only before pre-testing. So as you know that we will conduct the rigorous testing strategies here, and then we will perform end-to-end testing for that, and then we will make the any issues are there, we will fix it, and we'll start deploying the thing. So once the solutions are deployed in the production environments, then we will run the solutions in the product environment, right? So where we will give all the user training, change management. So all these things comes into picture. So this is the total life cycle for any S4HANA Finance Cloud implementation that we do as part of the uh, S4HANA Public Cloud Edition. But yes, here we have to remember few things. There are certain best practices for any successful finance implementation. Okay. So what are the best practices? So those are majorly you have to engage your stakeholders and business users. Okay. Because why I have to engage means to maximize the success of your implementation of your S4HANA public cloud, you have to take all these best practice into consideration. That is, one such one is you have to engage your stakeholders and business users. Okay. Why means while they're involving, the users from the beginning, they will start gather the requirements. Okay. So from gathering the requirements, they will understand what is that actually happening and what is that they're going to change, what is the data that is getting, what is the commitment, what is the alignment that we are going to do, what is the business goal, and how are we reaching. So all these individual KPIs can be easily shown to them. So that is the reason this is one such thing where you have to engage your stakeholders and business users. Okay. And the very important one is you have to follow all SAP's recommended implementation methodologies only. Okay. So you might go here and there. If you might go here and there, end of the results will be shaky for you. Okay. So you have to adhere to your SAP's recommended implementation methodology, like I showed you this activate methodology. Okay. For a structured and efficient implementation that you want to do it. Okay. And you have to leverage all the pre-configured content and templates because SAP already have that. We know that BA content is there, a lot of pre-configured content will be there. So you have to leverage that. And you have to prioritize all your data quality and cleansing before doing any uh, going for the new system financial data on that. Like, so you have to invest certain time, you have to put some efforts in data cleansing and validation and quality checks to just to ensure, like to accurately we are ready with the financial data in the new system. Then only you can play it better. If you start with all the without any data cleansing and data validation, all the nonsense data will be there in that, and it start giving you a lot of hiccups and errors while you're taking any kind of realizations or integrations or migrations on top of that. So you have to be very careful on the data quality and cleansing prioritizations. Okay. And one more very important best practice in this activate phase is you have to monitor and managing the project risk continuously. This is not a single day you should not deviate, because your continuous assessment and management will tell you what are the project risks are there. You can easily identify risk ahead and you can take actions on that. Because in the implementation process, when you go with a regular continuous assessment, you will understand how much of your data is getting transferred, where the data hiccups are there, where your data is getting loaded, where is getting not loaded. And sometimes our figures are also getting changed, and they'll go into different modes. So you have to identify all the potential risk earlyly, and you can develop the mitigation strategies to minimize their impact. So these are the important best practices that SAP recommended for any successful financial implementation as part of this methodology phases. Okay. So someone has asked me that, and now that one also I'll cover. As I said to you, I'll just stop the screen for a minute, just go through these phases, and then I'll discuss the challenges and solutions in finance implementation also. I go on with just 2, 3, as now the time came. Now I'll just give you a little bit what are the challenges also in the public edition, little bit. Yeah. I'm just stopping the screen for a minute. Just have a look on the screen for the methodology phases. Just know whatever I explained to you. So these are the same things just now I have told to you. When we go with the navigation user interfaces here, like we'll be having your customized launchpad groups, easily configured layouts. These are the key features in your S4HANA public cloud. Smart space, search capabilities, flexible views, and recent activities and favorites. Okay. So these are there. I will show you that as a Hawkeye now, what are those things, and then come back to the PPT. Okay. Now these guys told us, right, we have to verify now. These are really happening. These really customized launchpad groups are there, configured layouts are there, whether these are really there or not. Yes, so we'll see that. So we'll be having two important URLs, team. So one is for your configuration, which is called central business configuration. I'm in my next few minutes, I'll give you a complete, explanations on this central business configuration, what it is and how it is adding value and what you can do in this. So this, from now, keep it in the mind, guys, a big star point. From now, people who have to work on the S4 HANA cloud, I'm not saying about finance, I'm saying about S4 HANA cloud, any module you want to work, the basic thing will be your configuration. So you should know the central business configuration for finance or for SD, for PP, CRM, SEM, whatever you want, because all your primary things will be gone under this central business configuration only. Okay. So I will be showing you that one today, basically as part of the intro to the cloud also. Okay. So in this only, you will be setting your scope, you will be setting your primary finance settings, you will be declaring your organizational structure. Someone has asked me, right? So you can see that whether our structures are deviated or not initially, and configuration basically. So these are the things which we will see as part of the central business configuration. Okay. And this is the main one. Once we are done with your general configuration, that means you declare, you create your company code, you create your companies, you create your different sales org and all these things. Once you once you assign those things, a structure will be formed to you. Okay, you will be really liking that one. I'll show you that one. Okay, in the next few minutes. So after that, you'll come to this original one, which is called development URL. This is the development part. This is the configuration. This is the development. Okay. In the development, as in the PPT set, see, customize launchpad groups, easily configured layouts. So these are the easily configured layouts. See, this is the customizable launchpad group. So by launchpad means what? The moment you launch your screen, you should know you should have what you generally want. So that you can actually add. These are ones which I added for my purpose in the last training, right? So if you want whatever you want in the My Home page, you can add all your customized layouts. This is called customized launchpad. For example, lady is there, so she want only auditing and account receivable. So she will add only those two tiles. Unnecessary tiles will be removed. So she can keep it like that. So that easily she don't need to every time go and here and there, no need to waste of time. Directly click here and go to your channel and start working on that. So that is called customized launchpad groups and configured layouts. So smart search capabilities. Smart search capabilities means, for example, I want accounting clerks, for example. I don't know where it is. So simply in the search box, if I go and write here accounting and simply search there, I'll get like this. See, I'm not making you taste the complete tool immediately. I'm just showing you the relevancy of what it was written. We should have that relevancy, right? That's the reason I'm just showing you. See, schedule, accounting data changes, and all these things are there. So like if you can search for the internal things, whatever you have. But one thing you have to keep it in the mind. Whatever you configure in the central business configurations, those things will come into picture here. So you have to properly configure before you leverage this tool properly. Okay. So those will anyway, in the practical part, you will understand those things clearly one by one. Okay. And then we have what flexible views and drill downs, recent activities and favorites. So, right. So these are the recent activities and favorites we can see here. For example, if you go back, you will be having all your apps, see favorites. Favorites means what apps you have used. You can see easily here. And most used, you can see here what you have mostly used, and recently used also you can see. So that in our when you compare to your ECC, we have to struggle a lot, right? When you go back from the SAP logon pad, when you go, multiple screens are there. It will again struck you there. You have added more number of screens, can't go there. You have to toggle here and there, tab it here and there. All that efforts will be not be there here in the S4HANA public cloud, so that you can easily switch on to your most recently ones also. I can start using that for and so forth, right? Let's say, for example, I want to see manage GL account master. So I can simply go there. Okay. So this is how you can go into it, and you can go back and you can save all these things and do that. So these are all the important navigation user interfaces that are there in a S4HANA public cloud. Okay. And you have observed that, right? My first statement, I'm again going there. We don't have any kind of, classical launchpad styles here. Everything is in cloud. See, this is a simple URL. Go log in, take your ID and password, and start doing the magic on top of that. Okay. So this is the navigations in the user interfaces. And conducting fit to standard workshops. As we go, you already guys have already gone through, because you all are every senior guys here. So I don't need to explain clearly on that. But yes, whenever you want to make a fitment analysis or fitment workshops, you want to make it, that you can do as part of that, because all the pre-config progress are there. So we can identify gaps with the current practices, and we can start, filling the gaps with whatever the value add we can make it and part of that. Okay. In the similar way, for any opportunities also, if you want to streamline in the process optimization, you can do it through this cloud solution capabilities that is there in the S4HANA public cloud. Okay. And coming to here, this is the cloud architecture. So if you see, this is the cloud architecture. Now, any architecture you take, you will be having certain downstream systems, middleware, and upstream, right? So here also, the downstream is this one. This part is your downstream. Okay. And this part is our middleware, which is our S4 HANA cloud. And reporting part, the presentation layer, this is your top layer or upstream. Okay. So in the downstream, you will be having what, as I told you, for the best practices, data harmonization, cleansing of data, right? That will happen here. So you'll be having a lot of things are there which are connected to a central finance console, where all your non-SAP, SAP, all data, you will just get it done through your ECC or whatever the things are there. We can start putting that here, and then the central finance managed console will take it and make it ready for your middleware, which is our cloud. So in the cloud, we will consume that through our internal APIs or different sometimes REST APIs also, if it is a third party. So we will be using this, and we will get into this environment. Okay. So this is our environment where we will see all these things, like we will be creating a universal journal for all our fixed assets, general ledgers, material ledgers, controlling, profitability analysis, all these things will be there. Our structure will be clear here. So here again, you will be dealing, because these are individually kept, because everyone don't need these things mandatorily. So those who want, they can go with that, like treasury, risk compliance, cyber security, tax and regulatory compliance, billing, revenue management, receivables and costs, cash liability. So different things are there. So these all comes as part of your requirement only. It's not mandatory to everyone carry every single for the So you have to take it according to your requirement. So this is the common one, where once your data is approaching to, like going landing into the universal journal, then you can start playing it for the further level of reporting. The reporting level, you will go with all these plans. As I said, in the financial planning will be there. So you will be taking marketing plans, sales plans, supply chain plans, your workforce plan. You can analyze, you can create your own plans based on your requirements, and you can, like start putting the plans across the board, across your customers also. And then you can make the reports and dashboards also on top of that. You can actually put the data. There is a one more linkage. If this data you want for Power BI or Tableau or some other thing also, you can start integrating this top level environment to that one also. So that way, we can actually, do it more sophisticatedly, the current trending S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition into different meaningful client strategies, whatever the client requirements they want into it. Okay, this is completely automated. This is the most beautiful part, is completely automated, this one. So, and very portable and scalable architecture. So anyone can easily enter into it and can have, like work into it and play with it well, and get a productive results on top of that. Okay. So this is the architecture of your S/4HANA Finance Cloud. And coming to organizational structures. Okay. So these are the organization structures. So I don't need to give this thing, but still, I'll give you what was this things in the thing. The terminology, basically, what I'm saying is, so that organization structure, what is company code, what is company. So those things I will discuss with you right now. So, but before that, I'll start, before going to that also, as I said, before going into it, you should understand this one, which is central business configuration. So I will be going into it. Okay, I'll show you what is central business configuration. Very recently, this is a recent one only, which was happened in August 2024. Very, very recent PPT, or we can say that's called the PDF, which was given by SAP. So it is, I'm releasing the same to you also here now. So you can understand, you can see what is this business configuration does to us. Okay, so I'm just showing you that one. So you can see this is August 2024, released to public. This is given by SAP. Okay. So I'm reviewing that thing to you guys now. So yes, as I said, central business configuration. The central business configuration here, you're seeing here. So this is one such tool. Okay. Designed, basically, as I said, the name itself indicates to configure your business process. Okay. And why the name central? Because central means always it is your heart. It's a master from where all your data will be initiated. Okay. It's like a mother. Okay. So here you will configure the business process spanning different SAP cloud solutions. Okay. In one single bucket, which we'll call central business configuration, or a central place where you do it. Okay. This supports the configuration of all S/4HANA public editions. Okay. Which I mean, it aims seamless implementation of your end-to-end business process across the cloud portfolio. Across the cloud portfolio means, I mean, whatever you do in cloud, that has to go through central business configuration. You can't deviate, or you can't go without anything from here. Okay. So every new SAP S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition customer have to go this business configurations. We call it as, in simple terms, CBC. Okay. CBC for all the implementation. Okay. So these are the key benefits which are already been. I'm just simply explaining you for this particular thing. So it's very easy, because of central configuration, all the business processes across this enterprises, they can be easily configured and can be leveraged for further business processes easily. Okay. Because it is central business configuration is handling one single entity, and and giving that to multiple processes, the company can easily roll out this particular business processes very fastly. Okay. And configuration efforts, basically, if you see in the ECC, we have to configure lot of efforts we have kept it in, right? So that are drastically reduced in this particular new cloud edition through SAP CBC. Okay, so this basically allows anyone who can use that, they can easily manage their configurations for all the cloud implementations and ongoing operations through the project experience. We have a wizard called project experience. I will show you that one also. So through that, you will do this one, and you will initiate the CBC. So you can initiate changes anytime to make different editions on your scopes, countries, regions, whatnot. All organizational structures, all can be done through your configuration settings in the CBC. Okay, so the major components in CBC, as I demonstrate to you, will be your project experience, your scope, your configuration workspace, your pre-configured content. So these are the things which will be there in your CBC. Okay, so what you can get from the CBC is you can actually leverage. Let me show you this one. As I said, so these are your major things: the scope, the organization structure, the product specific configuration. So these are your major things that can be utilized here. As I said, these are your business configuration key components: the project experience, the scoping, the structure, the org structure, and the configuration. And you do have the pre-configured content for your purpose where you use these ones. Okay, so I will be showing you this one practically. Okay, what are those? I will just show you in the next few minutes once we are done with the PPT. Okay, and then so for process overview level, you need to define first of all scope. Okay, scope means nothing but what you want to do. You have to inform the system on the scope. So that is your scope. Okay, you will be assigning some deployment targets on this as mentioned here. Okay, and once that the scope is defined, you will define your org structure. Or org structure means your primary finance settings, what I mean to say. So you have to deploy different structures, right? So all the structures you will define it here. I'll show you that one also. And then you will, for any product specific, you have to configure business process. Then you will go with this product specific configuration in the central business configuration. So this one also you will be doing in this entity or in this block. Okay. And then once you're done with, you will be doing your evaluation project. Okay, so exploring your process before starting the implementation, whatever you do in the SAP Finance, this is called evaluation. So I just show you the screens, right? So this activity scope and all these things. So you can see what plant is there, what plant elements are there, what company code is there. No, all these things you can see in this as part of your evaluation project. Okay. So this evaluation project you can create under the evaluation project here is there. So on that you can create, and then you can assign it to suitable systems for your cloud starter systems. Okay, and the sample data also you can use whatever is pre-configured data is there, or if you want to add your own data, you can add that as well, and you can begin your project implementation anytime. Okay, as I said, the initial important target component, which is called project experience, right? So this project experience is a key target component. Okay, so this will be helped us. No, this will be help us to configure and to make any operations to manage them. From a single point of contact, like centrally, if you want to manage that, you have to make the project experience. Very simply, project experience I can correlate to you. It's like a main folder for you, where you can actually go and keep everything. You can actually start, checking and monitoring on top of that, right? So that's the point of that's the terminology of project experience. So these are all the key features of project experience, as I told you. And the next one is scope definition. Scope, as I already told you, whatever that you want to do, like a solution here for the implementation, you will define the scope. So scope that means your scope, for example, for multiple countries and regions at a time, you want to make it out. You have to define that. And whatever the scope parameters, scope conditions are there, you have to define on that. So I will show you that one also now, how we can define a scope. And then the setuping of org structure. So org structure, you know that we define through plants, locations, points and all these things. So you will define all the things in the org structure. So it's quite common what you do in ECC. The same thing we'll do in a different mode in the cloud. And then you have to perform some configuration activities, as I said, whatever the business process you want to customize or you want to make it out here, that you will do in the business process configuration. So that will be existing under your org structure. So you can do that one also from this. Okay. And there are some help settings are there in the business configuration. So if you want to need any help topics or any help from the services, you can go through it and you can start asking help on that. That means it will give you certain documentation kind of stuff. But still, if you have any issues which you want to make, doesn't unable to do or something problematic you want to reach the customer of SAP also, there is some direct links are there which I'll show you. You can reach the customers. Okay, so let me show you till then, and then I'll come back to this one. Right. So this is your central business configuration. Right. As I said, once you log in with your ID and password, you will come and land up in this page. Okay. So what are these in this? As I said, the scope is there. You can see the scope is there. The project is not there right now. This is a thing. The project scope, the project, I will tell you the project experience where it will be. The scope is there. The finance settings are there. The org structure is there. The business configuration is there. These are there, right? And then for activity, these are all activities of your central business configuration. Okay. As I said, you can see this is the scope and org structure. You can see you can define scope, assign development, confirming scope, specify settings, set up org structure, and confirm the scope. So these are your steps in this. Okay, I'll show you that one. So before that, on your user, if you have to sign in, sign out, you can do from here. Okay, and all the user settings will be here in the S4HANA 00. Okay, if you can see here, this is my user, my role, my key roles, what I can do, and all your horizons will be there here, what the way you want to display, and your languages, preferred language. If you want to change, you can change from this location. Okay, so this is your settings. And coming back here, you can see these three ones, which are called settings, deployment targets, and change logs. In the settings, you will be having all your major settings, that is project settings will be there. That means what projects have you created, who are the relevant users for that, and what roles are there. For example, if you don't need the project, you can remove the project also. For example, if it's a dummy project or a test project or a kind of sandbox thing, if you don't want, you can do it. If you remove, you can add. Okay. The same way for the team level, if you want to add users also, you can add number of users for your team, and you can assign the roles for them from here itself only for your project purpose. Okay. So this is how, and the project details can be easily shown here. So when you are in one project, you want to switch it, you can use this switch project where you can switch from one project to other project. For example, I am in one such project, and now I want to go to Strive RR. This project I want to go. Okay, you can switch into the project. Or else if you want to create new project, you can create from here. Okay, I'm just showing you the Hawkeye of the CBC. I'm not creating anything right now. Whatever I have shown in the presentation, I'm just showing you this ones here in the cloud environment now. Okay, so then your deployment targets. So whatever your deployment targets, you can see here what are the deployment they have done. So the target name, the deployment target name, the project which has been done on that, the type, the URL where the deployment has happened, the system numbers, status, overall status, and demo data, everything can be here. Okay, these are all your deployment target details. The moment you deployed it, you can see all these things here. And you can also see the deployment history when you have last deployed also, so that you can understand what is your last deployment date and time, and what is the status of it. Okay, if anyone has gone to it. Okay, if you want to see the deployment target clearly, you can go to here, which is called deployment target, go to option. So this will display all your business configuration settings, which I told you, right? In the key target components, business configuration workspace, that is nothing but deployment target. So you can see all these ones here. Okay, you can see the status of the system. You can go, you can click on this here. You can see that one particularly. See, I'm not doing anything, I'm just showing you some. Once we are in completely, then I'll show you these things. So this is how you can see your business configuration, stagings and settings for that. It's a simple back button, but because it is cloud, it depends upon your RAM speeds, or sometimes if your system RAM might be slow, so it will be go down. So I'm working on 8 GB RAM, so it will be little slower, not a very slow. So this is your different systems. Okay. So these are your settings. Okay. And deployment targets. When you go to the change logs, all the same change log methodology, whatever the changes that happened in your deployment, scope, org structures, settings, you can see all the changes here. Nothing has been changed as of till date. So there was nothing here. So yeah, I just take on the project. You can see certain things are there in the project. It was changed by someone here, 2020. See, at 10:49, something has been changed on this project. So the details are there in this. Someone has changed what details are there. You can see. So it was project name, project time, changed by, changed on. Details will be there. What changed, what has happened, all these things will be there. It's been captured here. So this is how your change logs will be there. This is your total system. If you go here in the three things, this is nothing but your system aggregator. Just it will enhance and de-enhance your screen like this. Okay, nothing more than that. And these ones, if you can see, this is your notification bar, alerts bar. If there are any notifications relevant to your user or your project, you can get these notifications. And this is nothing but your what we can say feedback thing. You can ignore this one just to have a survey on the software. You can give continuous feedback on whatever you want. And this is the, as I said, the helpline will be there, right? So this is your helpline where you can actually ask some help on this. So like, for example, I'm just giving this one. So for example, so it will give you all the help articles related to it, how you can get it and what we can get it. It's integrated with SAP's Learning Hub, this one. So you can actually get from there. That's it. Okay. So like this, and these are your general help topics, whatever you want. So you can just get that one also, whatever you want from this. Okay. So this is your total CBC's Hawkeye or a 10,000 feet level view, what it looks like and how it looks like. Okay. So as I said, always when we go with CBC, we have to remember it's a central place for customers and partners to looking at as a cloud business processes. It will add value for all, whatever you do, your business process for all the customers and partners. Why? Because all the customers and partners can manage this cloud edition implementation project centrally from here. That is the way the value are coming. This is a much of the biggest advantage. Okay. And it is aiming always to deploy all the configurations to your target, as I just shown to you. So the implementation projects can get a good visibility of scoping to your cloud solutions. Multi-country scopings can be it will be possible in this, and you can support customers with modeling options, models, and enhancing their org structures. And a lot of graphical stuff is there. I'll show you that one so that it will be easy. And configuration activities are not very easy and they can't be done every time. So one-time configuration help us to do easily from there as a flowful, freeful experience on that. Okay. At org structures, I just explained you what is an org structure and what can be at that point we have seen what is a CBC and these things. So these org structures can be more detailedly explained in this. So that's the reason I'm just skipping at this level for this day one level. So I will explain you on the org structures now, because org unit is there where we will be showing you, and then we can discuss on that. Right. So now on the CBC level, if you come to here, right? So when we generally go for CBC process, right? As I said you, first of all, we will define the scope. This is the scope and org structure. So first of all, we will define the scope, and then we will assign the deployment targets for that. Okay. So this is a complete process, whatever you do. So in this process, if you have not completed, it will be showing you that whether it is not completed, also the status of the process. Okay. But just for a process dashboard level to understand where are we. Okay. So then once the scope is done, you will go the scoping confirmation, and then we will specify the primary finance settings on that. So this primary finance settings will be a part of organization structure. Okay. So you have to specify what are the primary finance settings, and then you will set up the org structure and you will deploy the particular settings of it. Okay. And then once you confirm that, then we will go with the product specific configuration, this one, wherein which you will configure your business processes, you will perform configuration activities, you will release the transports. Remember guys, whatever you want to do transports, right? The transports you will be releasing from this product specific configuration. Earlier, transport mechanism is different from what you will do in this finance also, but I will show you that one also when our classes are getting matured enough from day by day. And then finally, you will maintain your production settings and you will do your current settings once it is being deployed. Okay. So here you have to importantly understand 2 points are there. When we are maintaining current settings in your production system settings, okay, via our SAP CBC, okay, CBC is the only relevant two system landscape. Okay, so in a three system landscape, you will be having many dedicated apps are there, which will be available in your S4 HANA cloud. So there you have to grant access to production system specific settings as well. Okay, this point I will clearly show you when I am running this life cycle to you, just giving a heads up before. Okay, and also when we are releasing transports, that releasing transports takes place in the SAP CBC, as I told you right now. Okay, so either it's in a two system landscape or a three system landscape, it's all depend upon based on requirement basis. Okay, that means some people will have only development come product quality to production. Some people will have three system landscape like our development quality production. So based on that, the releasing transport mechanism will be there, which is similar like in ECC. Okay, but the process will be little different when we compare to the older version of ECC. Okay, so these things you have to understand. Now, coming to the original thing now. When we go here, so as I said you, the whole thing, it starts with where? On the project experience, right? So this project experience will make us to do our configuration as an implementation process, and you can start all these things in the project experience. Like let's say the project experience is nothing but a combination of all your project life cycle, right from project setup, the scoping, the org structure, the configuration, the deployment, the life cycle management. So these are all comes under as part of your project experience. Okay, so now I am telling two words, right? If you understand project experience in two system landscape, in three system landscape, right? So two things are there. So this two system landscape, three system landscape, there will be little difference will be there. Okay, what I mean to say, when you go with a project phase level, you will be in two system landscape, you will be having three project phases. What are those? Scope and org structure phase, product specific configuration phase, and product system settings phase. These will be there. But in your three system landscape, you will be having only scope and org structure phase and product specific phase. Okay. You don't have any product system phase because it is a three system landscape where another system will do that one. You have to understand that, because why is in two system, you have only one development and next again, immediately production will be there, right? So because of that, you have to engage your phases in 3 different project phases. Okay, as I said, scope and or product and specific configuration and production phase. Okay, so because of two system landscape, whenever you go with two system landscape, your work with will be two projects. One is with evaluation, another one will be your implementation. Okay, so this all comes like this. Let me try to show you that one. If I can show you, I'll show and talk on that instead of directly speaking. See, I'm now creating a new project. So where I'm creating new project, when you go to settings, okay, in settings window, you will see a current project that is going on here, right? Here, you can add user, you can switch project. In the switch project, you can create a project. Let's say you want to create a new project. I'm creating a new project. Okay. So if my project is Kbo underscore R24, okay, this is the implementation type. So if you can see, this is what I'm speaking, guys. If my project type is having these two things, implementation and evaluation, if these two are there, it means, what is this? It means it is nothing but a two system landscape. If this is a 3 system landscape, you will be having this type of 2 implementations and 2 evaluations will be there. Okay, it all shows what your current system landscape is also. So this is in our current cloud landscape. I am on 2 system landscape. Okay, implement. What is the 2 systems? One is your evaluation, another one is your implementation. Okay,
means quality
so now,
and production, right?
nothing but development plus quality, not quality in production. In ECC also, wherever your last clients on the budget constraints, if clients want to go with 2 system landscape, we do all development quality in one system and production in one system, right? That's how this is nothing but very similar. And I'm just giving, this is the way that we create a project, guys. So here, let's say it is test for, okay, that's it. I'm creating. Okay, see, the moment I created the project, see guys, what happened? The flow, I told it is automatic, right? The flow has automatically started. See, now it is asking me define scope, assign target, confirm scope, right? So now what I have to do, I have to define the scope, right? So I have not till yet completed my thing on this. So in define scope, before going to define scope, so you have to understand what your project's primary aim. Okay, so if your project has to demonstrate or serve for a particular country, then you have to clear in your scope that yes, it has to serve for India or serve for US or serve for Canada, something like that. Okay, that means your project criteria will cover that region. Okay, so once we create the project, as you see now, we are on the scope level, right? So as I said, the scope phase in CBC will be completely related to your project activity, which will make all the solution capabilities will be inhibited in it. Okay, so let's say define scope is there. The status is open. I have not defined, so it is open. If I have defined, it will be completed, right? So let's say I'm going for action open. Now I'm opening it. Okay, now it is asking select country and region, your sector. That means what the client sector that you're going with, that you can do it. Or sometimes if you're doing a third party kind of stuff, if you have a scope that is already there in your JSON file also, you can do it from this by clicking here. But I'm not doing anything. I don't have any JSON files right now for to show you. I'm just going with the public. Okay, you will be having two sectors, private or public, which cause your business streams. So I'm going with public and going with a region. Here in this particular level, I have only US. So I'm selecting the US. Okay, but in general, complete licensed versions, you can see all countries which are relevant to it, and then you can actually make it out. So here, as I said you, I'm providing the region in which this particular scope is getting covered. So saving this. So in scope, what we'll do, guys, you define the capabilities of your solution. Okay, how the capabilities will be defined? Capability is nothing but what can be done. So that capability can be decided by choosing your country or region. So my capabilities, if I choose USA, all the capabilities will be now gone with the USA region based capabilities. If I select India, the same it will be the India also. Okay. So by choosing that country and region, the scenario relevant for the business like public or private, so that will enable. Now you are seeing that practically. What I'm speaking, I'm showing you practically. Okay. So this will enable the CBC to pre-configure settings for that particular scope solution. Okay. Now, under public sector management for US, this new bundle has been created. This is the scope bundle. The moment you create a project, we created it asked us to create a scope. The moment we created a scope, now it has created a bundle. Now we are on the bundle. So this is called scope bundle. Okay. So these are the scope bundles. So scope bundle is nothing but a scope item that is available in the bundle. That is called scope bundle. Okay. Now in this also, if you go here, we have only one single region, so it is getting faded here. If you can add, go for add. The moment you go for add, this add button. See, you have many other scenarios also there, which has came into picture, whichever you want to add into it. These are all different bundles which are relevant for you. You want to add, you can add them. Okay. But this is not required. I'm not showing, I'm just showing you the only this one. So I'm just doing this one. So once you are done with this, okay, you can go for select countries and regions. Now, if someone asked me the question, right? So there you can see, and you can actually add and save this. Okay. If you want to add still, if not, you can leave it like this. So this is your, if you go to the my selected scope, you can see your selected scope also. Okay. So I have not added any bundles at this because it's a demo. I'm just showing you right now on this. Okay. Now we can go to the back to scoping. Okay. Now complete this activity simply. Okay. I'm not doing anything. Select this bundle. Okay. Bundle I have to select. Let me write account. Okay. Let me add the bundle there.
What do you mean by bundle? What is bundle?
Bundle is nothing but the item in which your finance item will be there. Like as you're seeing many bundles here, right? Scenarios, basically, items you can say, you can call that. So these are nothing but your bundles. Let's say I'm adding this one, improve maintenance. Okay, I'm adding, that means I told you one point, right? If you remember, while the moment you define scope, it's all cover your solution capabilities. For example, if your solution capability is covering, let's say, advanced bank statement, if your solution capability covering contract accounting, these are all pre-configured. You add all these are all called scope items. Okay. So these will be now adding into your bundles, which is your scope bundle. No, these will be a part of your solution wherein which you will start using them in your further development also. Okay. You have n number of bundles that are already given by SAP. So based on your scope solution, you will add them and you will make use of them. That's it.
Yeah, is there any default set of bundle it will automatically select? But because I have left to select multiple
No,
items.
no default. Because I told you there are n number of bundles because it is only a normal version. Saying in licensed version, you will see 175 plus bundles are there. So by default, SAP can't add that for you. So we have to add it based on our, that is the meaning of scope. Scope means whatever you want the solution capability for your region. For example, you're doing for a banking transaction, then you have to add all banking bundles in your scope. If you want to add only accounts receivables, only you will do those ones, accounts payables into your bundle. Then you start your project on that. So like this project is completely customized. That means specific to your requirement, these finance implementations will work for you. So I completed the scope. I just showed you I'm not running a live scenario immediately right now to you. Okay. I'm just showing you again, guys, for the based of the cloud introduction for today. And then once you go for the scope, what you do, we will assign the deployment target. I already told you what deployment target, right? So now assign that one. So there are no deployment targets that are available for us. So we have to create one such. If there are no such deployment targets, cancel this, go here and create deployment target. Okay. So what is the deployment target? I already told you, right? Whenever we do any part of deployment in the SAP S4 HANA cloud, okay, you are evaluating a project in your CBC. Means you assign this particular scope, that means this capabilities to a target level item, wherein which it will allows you to further customize and development your objects in that environment. That is called deployment target. Okay. For example, it's nothing but a bowl wherein which you will put some ingredients. It will be a bowl where you want to cook it. Your cooking is nothing but your development. Just I'm relating to you. So once the deployment target is assigned in this particular project phase, your scoping will be then completed, and then you can start your developments, your configurations or further to it, whatever you want to make on top of it. Okay. It's nothing but like a software or a host that can help you to make your complete scope items to work there. Clear? Deployment target, what it is? You have to understand the technology, guys, first of all. That's what I'm spending time today. Clear? Deployment target. Any questions?
Is it the production system? What I mean, what would be the deployment target? If you can give an example.
It's like a system. It's like a system or a host. Also, you can say host. Whenever the moment I say host, it's like a system only, where the scope and the scope will go the moment you create a scope and assign it. The scope will go and sit in there, and you can start working on it. That means you are creating a folder for your data to sit. That is called deployment target. Clear?
Okay, have you assigned anything now, or
No,
you're
I
going
have
to do
not.
it now?
I'm not. I'm going to do it now. You will understand that clearly.
Okay,
But
okay,
before that, I want to make you understand the terminology clearly. So that's the
understood.
reason I'm asking you again. Okay. So let me create a deployment target first of all here. Other page. First, I create a deployment target. Then I'll come here. We take the older ones here, which are already there in the system. Okay, let me take, I'll go to the project, some other project now, and I'll take the deployment target from there because nothing is assigned there. So let me switch the project first of all for purpose. Let's open in this new tab. In this, we have some deployment targets as well. So let me take these ones. Okay, so 1 second, I was unable to configure that thing. So 1 second, let me check in here. This is not getting completed because we have to assign this one. So it's not allowing me to do that. This is either not asks me to create or it's not telling me to create. Okay, so let's not waste time on this. So we will be generally, I will show this one. This I don't know how this things were not showing here. Usually, the moment when we go with the scope here, this will the moment we add it and we'll complete this one. So this will be showing the deployment target. So I am not sure this is not presenting the targets for us now. So I'll try to see what is the problem with this configuration. So it is generally the moment when we assign it here, this is not there. It will show an option like create target. So this is not showing that. Might be some configuration issue. I have to check into it. I don't want to waste time on that because it's an introduction section for us too. So once we do that, we can confirm the scoping is completed. So this scoping will be completed only we do this assignment of the deployment target. So the target when we do that, the once this scoping is completed, we are done with this complete initial project configuration. Okay, so this is what the initial steps that we can do as part of any project and scope settings. So once scope is done, you can see you can go to the primary finance settings. Okay, see, as I told you, this is a complete automated flow. See, it will not allow you whatever you want to. Like in ECC, sometimes we can go and skip certain things and we can make something. This is not like that. As it is a completely automated, it is clearly instructing you. It's see, the primary financing is not available. Complete the scope first. So you have to close the scope, then only you have to go to the primary finance settings. That's how this CBC will work. Okay, so this is a step-by-step process wherein which you cannot deviate one single step and you can go and make the things done on top of that. Okay, this is what I repeatedly told you, which is completely automated. In the scope level, as I said, there are many optional selections are there, like, standard resources, non-standard scenarios, which do not require some manual steps. Certain type of dedicated system tenants will be there for healthcare clients or banking clients. You want to assign them. So those also you can assign as a dedicated deployment targets, because sometimes we have to exchange the content from our project to a cloud solution. So at that time, you have to specify a proper deployment target in the deployment targets panel, where all your deployment targets will be listed and can be assigned or removed on that. This is the one which I told you. This is the deployment target app. You can see it here, right? So so if you switch a project, you can see that, right? In this also I have just shown you. This is your list of deployment targets history which was happened. So the moment when you go to this deployment target here, see here, I have showed you, right? In the initial phase. So this is your different deployment targets are there. Okay, you can actually select from here and you can do it. Go to the settings. You can actually take all your relevant names for these things for the deployment targets also on this layout orders. Okay, so here this is your deployment target bar, wherein which you can actually add settings for this particular deployment targets. Okay, there will not be any creations at this level. The creation should be there in the page which I have shown to you. There is some configuration issues are there. That is the reason that create deployment target is not able to show to you. I'll show you when the from next class we have to do it anyways in a life cycle manner. I'll show you that time. So this is how your systems with separate banking or different customers also, if you want to dedicate, you can go to this deployment target app and you can list them, you can assign them, and you can remove them based on their thing. And then whenever you go with your when you're confirming your scope with the assigned deployment target, you have all relevant configuration activities that can be easily calculated by system that time. So after the moment here, if you come here, the moment you confirming the scope here, the scope is there right here, the overview. If you go to the overview, you can see what is there. So this is all it should be completed. Once you confirm the scope here, okay, please remember this point, everyone. Once all the scopes are done, after you do this last step, the scoping step, you cannot delete any countries or regions, bundles or scenarios. Means these choices will be irreversible. Okay, it is possible to add enhancements. For example, you can add additional countries, regions later, but the moment when you do a complete process, these will be locked. That bundles, scenarios, countries, regions, those will be locked. You cannot delete them, but you can add further ones on top of it. Are you get clearing for on that? Someone has also just now asked me. I'm just clarifying that one more time here. You can add n number of things, but you cannot add the ones already added. You cannot delete that ones. Clear, everyone? There is no system supported licenses check in place for this license dependent scenarios. Before confirming your scope milestones, you have to see whether your scenarios are completely inline or not. Okay, you have to remember these important. These are as per the SAP best practices. I'm just giving you. Clear, everyone? Once you are done with this, then you will go with the primary finance settings. So in the primary finance settings, what will be there? Let me switch on the project and will show you what will be your primary finance settings. If you go to the again your settings bar, switch project. I'm just going with my earlier project. Let's say
just some clarification again. So would you know why SAP cannot delete any any scope items once it is already created?
Why means because by confirming the scope, right, the internal settings of this configuration activities will be calculated, as I said earlier. Okay, because once you plan for a US region, certain bundles are there, system will calculate those settings and it will prepare for your next level of objects and everything. The moment you delete or something you do it, system currently in the current version of 2402, it is not able to calculate those things and rechange the next level of the flow. That is the reason SAP has kept a full stop there, that the moment you do that particular scope finalization, you cannot delete any countries, any bundles or scenarios on top of that. But you can add further to it, but you cannot delete those things. That is what the current thing. Might be in your later versions, the change might come, but for now, this is the reason. So I have just switching the project, guys, on the sake of this target. So if you can see, right? So here also certain things are in progress. Okay. So if you can see, the moment when you go to the primary finance settings, so in the primary finance settings, what we will do is we will specify all our specific finance data settings will be there in that. Okay. So if you can see here, the physical year variant is there, the group country is there, right? So these things you have to make it. This thing, why you have to do is there's a very primary thing, because this will take your org structure management into a next level. Okay, because you have to understand what physical year periods, what other group currencies are there in this. You have to like give it to the finance settings mode of the primary finance level. Then only this will be taken to the next level. Okay, so this will ease the currency translations also, because you can give the group currency here. You can provide your fiscal year variant, which is very important in financial factors, so that the structure that you're going to define for your org can be easily, like take the content data for the further levels, and it will enhance whenever the need of enhancement is there. So your org structure can be easily been propagated for the business requirements. Okay, that is why you have to build this finance settings. In this finance settings page, only these two things will be there. Other than that, no, nothing will be there. So then you will go to the org structure. So in the org structure, you can set up the org structure. Okay, this will call app. So in this org structure app, you will set up all your org structure. So this is nothing but you are modeling your org structure with a predefined org units and templates. Okay, means you will define your org structures and you will activate some content data, and then you will enhance your requirements, and then whatever you want, like adaptations for your configuration phases, you will set up all that in this app closely with the scoping that we have defined. So the setting up of your org structure is the key one in the business application factory here. Okay, so like what I mean to say is, whatever the countries, regions you have to choose in the scoping, you should have certain company codes for it, right? So you can define the company codes, and you can define those default company codes, and every sales region will have a sales org will be there. So you will define that, you will define a plant, and then you will have other things that you can make on top of that. Okay, so please note that there are also some restrictions and limitations when you create relationships between the org units. So you have to properly establish that. Okay, one simple thing is this one. I'll just show you like this how you create. Let's say in the org, I know I create this one. I create a company code. I already created that earlier, right? So I'm not creating new one. So so this is there. Let me create another one here. So as we selected default US, it's coming US. So you can't change this one. Okay. If there are multi regions are there, then you can create different companies called different regions. As you already know that every one of you simply create that. So on any org structure, whatever you guys create, right? Those all org structure company codes will come and sit in this environment. Okay. So just untoggle here for your full page thing. You can go here. You can see here. Where is ours? I just created, right? One. Okay, it came here. Okay. Oh, I created a plant, edit plant. 1 second. So further you want to create, you can create from here whatever you want. Okay. So I just created the company code like this. You'll create a plant. Okay. This is a plant. Same thing you'll give here. And then you give your things. Okay. In the same way, you will, whatever you want, will create and you will start providing them into the one single structure. Like this, you will add that. Okay. Whatever on the under company code, you can give it. Let's say, for example, if you want to create the distribution channel, so you'll give the distribution channel and name for that. So everything, whatever you want, you can create all these primary KPIs for your company code, and you will make a structure on top of this. So which company code should have which plant, under which plant, what is the storage location, and what is the distribution, what is the division. So like that, the way generally we build the hierarchy, right? So you will build the hierarchy in this org structure. Okay. So you have to remember one thing. So this org structure, once it is confirmed, okay, there will be mainly two things will be there in the org structure. Once you finalize one org structure here, this is a template. Whatever you're doing is nothing called a template, right? So it will, this template will have all the dependent configuration settings, which are already loaded to the workspace the moment you create it. So this dependent configurations activities only can be identified based on the structure you are defining that. Okay. So this is completely a graphical view you are seeing. If you don't want this graphical view, if you want a table view, you can do that one also. Let me show you that one. So if you're confusing on this, you can do that one also. See, this is a simplified view. You can see here, see, this is a simplified view. Or else if you want to go down, you can see like this also. If you are seeing, if you're feeling difficulties on that, so we can see this one. So this will be enhancing your pages here and there, up and down, guys. Okay. And this is a graphical view. This is a tabular view. So now you're in tabular view. This is a graphical view. So if you're feeling uncomfortable with the graphical view, still you can use this ones. Okay. So this way we will create the org structures. Okay. So once the org structures are done, then we will go with the product specific configurations. Those ones we will do in the configuration button. So here, because those are all dummy data only, so no one has done that anything. So in the configuration related to product specific configuration, we will adjust the system settings for our business requirements. Whatever you want to carry out your configuration activities. So to perform configuration activities, whatever you do from scope to the org structure phase, all that will be completed, and you have they should be in a complete mode. Then only you can do this configuration properly. If not, the configuration will not go fly. It will not allow you also. I have shown you how that is, why it's not allowing you. Okay. So in this configuration activities tab, okay, so you can see different configuration activities will be there. Okay. Let's see, for our accounting, we have financial planning is there, cost and accounting planning, basic data planning. So these things are, see, this is open. We have not done anything on that, right? So we have to create that. So the same way, budgeting and all, these are all open. No one has created this. So why these are not getting activated? I told you, right? The org structure is not completed properly. So once I do that and I make something on that, then I can make these activities properly. Okay. So these activities will be generally organized hierarchically according to the business areas. And remember, guys, each configuration activity will be having a unique identifier ID. So this is your unique identifier ID. So no ID is similar. Okay, you can identify with this identifier ID, which is the configuration active ID, which we can say for referring your further process. Okay. And this is your status also, whether your configuration is completed properly or not. It's open means it's not completed. If it is done properly within these SAP's best practice, whatever the elements you have to give, whatever the configuration items you have to provide, and whatever the things you have to give it on top of it, it will be taken and it will be activated. Then it will be completed. Okay. Simple. In ECC, every time when we have done, we are clicking on save button, we are clicking on check button, we are clicking on activate button. Until you are not activating, things are not getting ready for the that means the object disposal, right? They have to display the objects. If you're not activating, you are not able to do. It's very similar here also. If you are not done the earlier step, the current step will not get into activated mode, and there is no separate activation. System will do automatic activation based on the process flow. Okay, here that is the difference in the cloud. So you have to make the configuration properly, and you can see the objects accordingly on top of that. Okay, once you are done, you can see number of configuration activities in each hierarchy level. You can simply go to the level under level like this, position the cursor like that, and you can actually add the status for that if it is activated. Okay, there are no such activated because it's a complete sandbox server, so many are in open status only. Okay, but anyways, I will show you in our next class how you can see these configurations, how you can do that as a simple lifecycle like this in the next class. Okay, so with this, we have done a complete understanding of CBC right from project, defining scope, giving settings, going for org structure, defining the org structure, going for the configuration activities. So I hope all of you got a minimal idea on what the CBC is and what a CBC can do is. Any questions?
So suppose we will use the manage my solution. So can you also help us to identify the same process in that app?
Okay. So tell me this. So you are you guys having any requirements, like to use only manage my solution or how?
Well, because we are using since the start, we are using the manage my solution. So it's not a requirement. I mean, we are using that app for any configuration related activity. It's not that all the participants, especially our SAP team, is using that app. So,
right. But that is not available with me. I can show you. So manage your solution is an on-premise app, right? Especially on that level. So I need that NetWeaver configuration for that because I have to show you that scenario definitions. I have to show you the application server activation in manage your scenario. And there are a lot of gateway service enablements also there that has to be done on top of that. Then I can show you how you can do this manager solution also. I'm not sure, but I'll check with this team. The lab team is there. They can provide me on next class. I'll show you that one also. And you can easily identify difference between manager solution and to the CBC also.
So as you mentioned the on-prem, but we are using the cloud since the beginning, right? And we are using the manage your solution on app only.
Okay, that's fine. Cloud or on-prem, whatever that is, I'm okay with that. I am happy to show you that one because that's more on exploring cloud solution, whether you go for CBC or for this manager solution also. I don't have any issue. I'll just show you, but that is not there with me readily available to show you the difference. Yeah.
Sure.
Right, but I'm asking the question that on the CBC front, I have shown you, demonstrated your complete thing on that. So this is what CBC's structure, and this is what that we generally do as part of this CBC thing. Now, after the CBC, what we can do and what we have to do, there are things that we can discuss in the coming sessions. But always understand that SAP S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition is a ready-to-run cloud solution, right? So it enables the customers with ready-to-work processes, which are inlining with the best practices of SAP. Okay. If you guys know that beginning in the year 2022 only, this SAP S/4HANA Cloud moved from a different release to a complete full cycle release. So whatever I have seen in my experience, right? So in the cloud model, customers pay a regular subscription fee for all your certain services from third-party service providers and for the infrastructure also. But with a cloud computing model like this one, we can easily get a computing resources. We can access them and we can go in a different good public mode. And we can use the hybrid cloud services also whenever there is a requirement is there, which is a good part on that. Because when it comes to deployment, we have different modes are there. As you guys already know that we have public keys there, we have private, we have hybrid is there in the cloud levels. But yes, S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition is a one very good comprehensive scope solution, uh, which is targeting the customer's transition to the cloud. Okay, it's like a multi-tenant server. Okay, all the SAP data centers are there. So SAP data centers are very well equipped enough now. So this solutions, whatever go in the public edition, for they have multi-tenant servers are there. They reside in these data centers of SAP, and there will be a very strong technical backend is also there. That is the reason that we have a lot of pre-delivered end-to-end business content and processes are there. You can implement which very easily. So which is ready to run. That is the reason why I told you ready to run cloud ERP. The reason behind that is this SAP data centers with multi-tenant server technology. Okay. So this is one such thing which I want to highlight on this. And other than that, once we are done with this CBC kind of configuration, all these things. So in the business configuration workspaces, you have to manage. You can manage because it's not one single project we will be working. We have to manage. We have to work on multiple projects. So we can manage parallel projects in this business configuration. I'll show you that one also. So we can manage company rollouts via different templates that are assigned in this. So those also we can see and we can leverage on that. Okay. And coming to the next one. Okay. So someone has asked me these things, right? How we will know what is the URL of in the initial thing. So I'm in a no, I just checked it there in my basis consultant also on this. When we initially create, that means when we go with the central business configuration CBC setup, right? So they set up a proxy for us generally. So the moment when you create administrator permissions from your security or basis team, so they will use a API call for this CPC for all this context and thing. Then they will create a sub account for you in the SAP BTP cockpit. So that cockpit will give the provisioning for you based on your ID and things further. And then that will generate the dedicated URL for you. And that URL will be used for you to open that one. Or else, if you have certificate based authentication, you can go to the OAuth authentication in the security where your security team will provide that, and they will assign a client ID for you. From there also, you can actually go with this. So this is what I got to know from my basis consultant. In the break, I have talked to him. I want to just inform you in the near end of session. So that's the way you can get the URL. But other than that, you cannot create your own URLs on top of that. So I just want to clarify that one. Okay. And then the next one is, so this is the continuation. So I'm going like in a flow now. Now this is where I stopped in my last point. So SAP CBC have cloud ALM and central business configurations as well. So as you have seen here in this thing, you can see we have an SAP solution bounded here. Okay. And wherein which the central business configuration and cloud ALM are in tight integration, right? So what is SAP cloud ALM, which is nothing but it is nothing but your application lifecycle management. ALM stands for. So that's a cloud offering completely, again a cloud for all the cloud centric customers. It provides all the capabilities for your implementations and operations for your SAP and legacy cloud solutions. Okay. So the moment you go with this, you will be having a major cloud specific support for that, wherein which all the lifecycle management can be easily handled through your SAP ALM. So that we will integrate through business and scope tasks from the SAP ALM cloud. Okay. So let's say earlier we are using solution manager, right? So many of you know what is solution manager. It is a kind of solution manager SAP cloud ALM also, where it will facilitates the customers on implementing and raising or creating the capabilities in the SAP is CBC. Okay, that's why the configuration between these two are being recommended and been done for SAP solutions. And other than that, I have thoroughly talked on two system or two landscape, system landscape or a system landscape. So this is one such thing. If you see the architecture for the two system landscape and system landscape, this is a three system landscape where you can see here. You have on the left side, we have this central business configuration where the development workspace and workspace are there. So this development workspace will talk to the development tenants for deploying the solutions. Okay. And general workspaces will talk to the customizing tenants. So these two will again reside in your development system, which are internally part of your cloud organization structure. So once this is done, you can actually export your transports to test system, test tenant, and this will be further produced to the production system. So three: development, test, production. These three system landscape. Okay. So for all these things to done, you should have a starter system. So this is your starter system, which is a thing that will employ your code with ABAP, JIT code and all these things into this environment. Okay. Starter system is nothing but a cloud pre-configured system. Okay. It will not be available to you in the architecture, but it will works as a backend from your architecture, which means this contains this particular starter system, whatever is there, this contains all the pre-configured and demo data that you can use for your evaluation purpose. So without this starter system, you won't get any dummy data or pre-configured data, so that you can't do well in your development. That is what your starter system. So these are all your additional resources which SAP has given for us. We can go for that whenever you have time for this with all these all the learning curve on that. So this is about your CBC on which we can do the things on top of that. Okay.